Well, Naman, this is the next in our series at the corner. But what corner are we at today?
We're actually at the 1 kilometer square radius where some of the most intelligent AI thinkers are based, right in front of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston.
And this would be an appropriate place to discuss artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
What's new about artificial intelligence and Canadian immigration?
Very interestingly, if you're looking closely at how decisions are being made in Canadian immigration and you're doing access to information requests, you'll see a number of new technologies that are being used by officers to make decisions.
So we know that on temporary resident permits, well, not temporary resident permits, I would think more along the lines of temporary resident visas.
Correct.
Where they're run-of-the-mill, possibly some work permits that are run-of-the-mill, open spousal work permits, I would think that they are starting to use AI.
So what's very interesting is you would find they're using tools, for example, references to something called Chinook, Advanced Analytics, Harvester, and these are technologies that look at the risk factors, for example, of a visitor visa. But if they see a certain pattern of behavior, a past refusal, your citizenship, your financial institution, AI is being used, and it's probably a simpler form of AI, to aggregate that data, and officers then put that application into a high risk, low risk, or medium risk, and an expedited decision is being made. So on one hand, processing time is going down, but the other question is that in line with what an officer should be doing on case?
Well, they say that an officer will be handling the final approvals or rejections. So if there is an officer involved, I think they meet any challenges that might come before the courts with respect to the use of that technology in the short term. But what do you think the result is? How closely are these officers looking at these decisions?
Right. So it's a really interesting point you make. What we've seen at the federal court level, and we've had a number of cases we've been able to settle, where often what happens is the officer doesn't have the entire vision of all of the information because they're relying on the AI. So they're looking at a narrow subset of information. And what the court has held is if the officer doesn't have the full vision of all the facts, then it's not in line with procedural fairness issues. It can be challenged.
So there's a lot of work ahead for lawyers in the short term and a little bit of uncertainty for applicants, employers, entities, using the immigration system to meet their economic objectives.
Look, on one hand, what we love is that AI is being used to make faster processing. But, like anything, AI, even in our firm, as we're experimenting with AI, we do it in an experimental setting. We test it, we improve it, and then when we're comfortable, we release it. I think IRCC has a good intention, but there's still a lot of room to improve. And in the interim, fortunately, we've been able to help many clients overturn decisions and get a better outcome.
About a year and a half ago, we did an article in Canadian Lawyer magazine, and we said that a tsunami is coming.
It's here.
It's here. Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
At the corner from MIT.